Hey. Sunday Soak, brought to you by Cork and Carey at the park. We're out here, two-man formation.
Missing MSS. There's going to be no fresh talent today.
Big bobblehead day.
It's a big bobblehead
today. And it's not like we get him at the end of the season because we're season ticket holders. But, a man's got bills to pay.
He's got profit motives with regards to these bobbleheads.
Cheers, Beef. It's been a fun weekend.
Cheers, Tracy. Absolutely. Reunion weekend has been nice. I'm ripping down a nice twisted tea, which we may have bought at the bar last night, but we couldn't drink everything before we left, so we left with them. And it
may or may not.
May or may
not.
It's
all alleged. It's all alleged.
Treasy, one word to describe his homestand so far.
Uneven.
I'm going to say wistful. I'm wistful.
Yeah, that's a good
I tweeted about my wistfulness on there. So we got 6 questions on the board. I just say we go through them all. If in the two-man formation, let's chop it up here, and I'll let you go first, Treasy. What do you want?
Let's go right from the top.
All right.
Andrew Vaughn is raking in Milwaukee. Time to, what does that say? Time to panic? Time to panic or get ready to laugh at the downfall?
Trezo, what do you think, bro?
So for me, I'm gonna say neither. Like I actually am enjoying Andrew Vaughn, having a good time out there, getting a lot of hits, doing well because 2 reasons. One, it's making White Sox Twitter melt down.
Absolutely, they're freaking out about this shit. It's 5 games. 5 games.
And 2, it's terrible for the Cubs.
Yes.
Like Rhys Hoskins going down should have been the time for the Cubs to gain some ground and like just put some distance between them and the Brewers, and it has not happened because Andrew Vaughn is raking.
Absolutely,
I'll take it all day. I'll take that all day.
I'm seeing a lot of the feedback, or whatever, and it's like White Sox fans, just because it's the start of him in Milwaukee, they forget Andrew Vaughn has had red hot fucking streaks throughout his career, hotter than this shit, man. Where he's played better, you're like, oh my god. This is the number 3 overall draft pick, the
guy we
Golden Spikes player. Yeah, exactly, that we were getting from college. And then he always comes back down because pitchers realize he swings too much and he hits too many ground balls. He makes too much contact for his profile, and he often doesn't hit the ball in the air enough, pull the ball in the air. So I think all that stuff will flatten out. It's possible the Milwaukee hitting program did help him with some stuff. And maybe he is a slightly better version of that. But you're talking about a basically league average bat. So let's say we bump that up to 110 or 115 WRC plus. That's like a usable bench player. Okay, great. I mean, I'm happy for Andrew. I hope that continues for him.
That's Gavin Sheets.
That's Gavin Sheets, exactly. And none of us ever wanted to see Andrew struggle. I mean, I even wrote a blog at the beginning of this year. I don't want to be this right about Andrew Vaughn, so I'm happy for him. I want him to succeed. I just don't believe it. I don't believe the 5 games. I don't believe, oh my God, he's a brand new hitter. He's a fucking superstar.
Well, it's like we're seeing it across the league with guys that were once on the Sox, right? At the beginning of the season, it was Gavin Sheets, and everybody's like, oh my God, we fucked up. Gavin Sheets got, and now like they've had to play him in left field. He's had to face a little more left-handed pitching. And that 150 WRC plus is down to like 112,
Exactly.
It's looking more like Gavin Sheets, right? And so like that one, and then now Romy's the new one. And like I saw Romy hit a home run the other night, and I was like, oh man, like everybody's going crazy. So it's gotta be like his 10th, 12th home run of the year. This is 5th. He's only played like 42 games. Like so, I mean, like I get like, hey, they're using him well. Like that's not a useful player for a team like the Sox.
Like the Sox, right? Exactly. You're transposing like. These guys are bench players, basically. You
want to play those guys every day.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and the reason why they didn't work here is because obviously you're playing them all the time. When you play them less, whatever, they can work out better. You can find better spots for them. And even then, though, the production isn't much better. Like it's still the same bullshit. So I don't know. I think it's fun though on Twitter. I like to see the outrage. I like to see people getting up in arms.
I like the chaos.
I'm with you. I like the chaos too. All right. Next up. It says, do you think the young White Sox roster is dragging ass into the All-Star break, Treasy? Are we seeing a little more like they look fatigued, mental errors, not such good decisions at the plate, et cetera, et cetera? Are you seeing any of that?
I think we're seeing a lot of it. I think we're seeing it in the pitching. I think the pitching is definitely those arms are getting a little dead because there's a lot of innings for guys who have never done that.
Right.
And like, we're putting a lot on guys like Shane Smith out there to do the Sean Burke, right? Like that guy is oft injured. And like we're like, hey, you're the ace of the staff. Keep going hard and
absolutely,
and go out there every 5 days. It's tough on these young guys, and I think the break is really needed for them. But I think to your point is that we are seeing some mental errors now starting to crop up. I think Miguel Vargas has had some bad plays in the field.
And he's not driving the ball as well either. I think if anyone could use this all-star break to recharge, it's for sure.
I like that they were giving him the day off yesterday, and then suddenly they weren't.
Exactly. So, you're back in here, son. Sorry.
And I think, there's now like kind of a endless rotation of guys at the bottom of the roster, right? Like, I didn't even realize that they had brought Will Robertson up. Like I was like, when did this happen?
I was like, he played yesterday, Trees. Yeah. He's like, well, we had quite a weekend, so you can't go count on that. Got another tea.
You absolutely can't. Thank you, brother. That went down fast.
That was delicious, man. I couldn't believe how easy that went.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I kind of feel like we're seeing it on defense some. We're seeing it at the plate some with some of the guys. Chase Mydroth is sucking in. And it's not just results either. Like Mydroth and Vargas are showing poor results. And you can kind of tell they're both sucking wind a little bit. They need to be the best version of themselves to get the max out of them, both profiles. And we talked about it on the one-way podcast the other day about Vargas hits a lot of fly balls. If you don't hit the fly balls hard enough to get them out of the park or off the wall for a double, fly balls turn into outs all the time.
Yeah.
So this is what you're seeing. You're seeing like a little glimpse of fatigued Miguel Vargas from the end of last year, kind of. And he needs to figure out a way to recharge, keep his strength. I don't know if the Sox need to rest him or whatever. Mydroth, the same thing, but you're also seeing like kind of just lapses on defense. Little shit like missing the guy they're supposed to throw the ball to, or throws home that are bouncing off people and not being caught. And just like little shit that you can tell the team's exhausted. They've been playing a lot of games and traveling, the heat, all this shit. They're young. They need some time off, in my opinion. And just looking around. And the pitching you brought up is a great point. I think we're underestimating how much the bullpen is beating the shit. Like I saw, and it's not one of my favorites, Jordan Leisure. But I'm like, Jordan Leisure again yesterday? Because I was like, holy shit. And we were talking about the doubleheader drains your goddamn bullpen. You get into the spot where whoever feels like they can throw a little bit is in there. And I feel like they've used Leisure a lot. And I'm not a fan in general, but like, these are young guys. They're beating them the fuck down. Shit's going to happen sometimes.
Yeah. And I think with the bullpen, they've got to figure out a better way to just cycle guys like they're doing on the active, like on the position player roster.
Right.
They're cycling guys at the bottom of that. They're not doing that as much, only when there's injuries on the pitching side. And like, you probably should. They probably should get some of these guys down there and like just let them go. And I also think that you got to think about how you do the starting rotation in the second half, because you got a guy like Mike Vassell who could be like a sixth starter in that rotation
for sure,
and then pitch another day during the week. And maybe you make a couple guys get into that mold, but like, you can't just keep throwing out these same five guys. You're gonna run them into the ground.
Absolutely.
And Hauser's gonna be gone at some point.
I was gonna say, and then they're gonna trade some guys off. And I don't know if they're gonna trade a couple guys from the bullpen either, Treasy. Stephen Wilson, Brandon Eisert, I think would have value to other teams and may end up getting traded off. I don't want to say it, but Grant Taylor also is a guy, in my opinion, who could potentially get traded off. But you're also, even if you keep him, which I think most Sox fans would appreciate, you still got to manage his fucking innings too. You can't be running him into the ground either.
Like we giving him two inning saves
all the time. Exactly. No, that's brutal. So yeah, I mean, this team needs a rest, and the White Sox are going to have to manage this carefully for the final 2 months of the season. In my personal opinion.
Agreed. All right.
Yeah,
next one is: do you care who the White Sox pick with the 10th overall selection in today's draft? So it is today. I forgot about that. I saw Josh Nelson post about it because he's very into the
deep
draft.
Into it.
And so I saw him post it. Oh, today's draft day. I was like, how about that? Beef, do you care?
No, I don't care who they get in the first round. Well, I'll carry it this way. I'm more interested to see the totality of the draft and what the hitter side of it looks like now that they have Ryan Fuller in tow, and he can give a little bit of feedback on what he's looking for as far as profiles might be. So. I know Shirley so far seemed to be comfortable going in any direction in which he thinks there's talent. He doesn't seem bound by any particular formula, although he does like to pick high school kids from Indiana, if possible, somewhere in the draft. But looking at I listened to a couple things. I listened to the big homies at Future Sox when they had Joe Doyle on. I listened to Josh Nelson when he had Jim Callis on. I love the Josh Nelson, Jim Callis conversations, even though I'm not into this shit at all. Just because if you read between the lines, Jim says some shit in there, which is very interesting. But for me, I was looking at the group, and they're like, it's a lot of these high school shortstops. The one that I like just from hearing about profile is Billy Carlson. He's from Corona High School in California because it's a 70 glove. So you got one tool to carry. Yeah, so I need a carrying tool for my guys.
Right. When you have something like that, that this could get him through the minor leagues, deep into like AAA even,
right,
without really having to have the bat because there's use for that guy.
That's right, exactly. And I've been looking at the Sox defense, and it's improved from the standpoint of the positioning looks better, whatever. You added real outfielders in the corners, that sort of shit, but they don't have any defensive weapons out there, in my opinion. Right. So if you drafted a 70 shortstop and he came to Chicago and was a 70 shortstop, I don't care if he hits that much. Let's just see him play great defense. On the other hand, only other guy I heard of that's really interesting is kind of freaking me out a little bit is there's this Seth Hernandez kid, same high school actually. Okay. These two went to high school together. He's like rated in the top 5, but he's a high school right-hand, which is all the key flaw. You got to stay away from those guys. They're too risky, blah, blah, blah. But you know my philosophy on the draft, Treasy, so I know nothing about the draft is you're always trying to draft Dwight Good. You don't give a fuck. Right. You know, like, I don't care how much risk. Fucking take $1 million risk. So if this kid somehow fell to 10 and the White Sox got him, I'd be elated. And I know the risk is off the fuck it. I don't care. We got to swing for home runs here in these drafts, in my opinion.
I'm with you. I will say I won't give much of a thought to who they draft 10th overall. What I want to see is how they develop that guy.
Yeah.
Right. And
I think goes, yep.
So like my immediate reaction will be none because I will tell you that out of any of the top 10 guys, I've watched zero amount of them play. And it's just not something I follow. And so I'm not going to pretend like I know anything about it. So what I'd say though is like I will listen to my our friends that like do pay close attention to this. So like guys like Josh, guys like the guys who are future Sox. I'm listening to them. I take that in, understand what they're supposed to be. Yeah. And then I'll follow them as they go through the minors and see, is it happening? Are they developing him into what he was supposed to be?
Right. Is it working? Is it kind of like coming through?
To the same point, are any of these other guys that they picked throughout the draft turning into anything?
Right.
Right. Like
that might be the more important part, Treasy, something that we've talked about a little bit because we're not the guys into the minor stuff or whatever, but the good teams turn later round picks into a guy.
Yeah.
Or a starter, like a position player, a full-time regular in the 7th round or
someone interesting enough to trade.
Exactly. Absolutely right now.
You see teams like San Diego.
Right.
Where they like develop guys into
especially with the international guys.
This is part of the trade. Right? This is the second or third guy in the trade. But it's interesting because they've gotten a little bit out of it.
Right. Yeah. Right? It's showing up a little bit in the development, early parts. Yeah. So that's the stuff we'll be looking at. We don't have a dog in the fight, but I wouldn't mind that shortstop, the 7th grade. So anyway. All right, next up, there's a community notes section now. And the question is, do you think the White Sox provided enough of a suite of activities for the fans for this past reunion weekend? Treasy, what do you think? Did they provide enough different stuff for the group of fans that were coming out there to see the 2005 White Sox reunion?
I think for the fans that were coming out, it was a good amount of stuff, and I was happy with what I've seen so far.
Yeah,
I will give 2 critiques though. They didn't do enough to bring in more fans.
The casuals,
right? You kind of got like the diehards game, and like that still doesn't fill up the stadium.
Correct. That's right.
And so you had a nice crowd both days so far. I'm sure there'll be a nice crowd today with the bobblehead, but you didn't have sellouts, and so they came short of doing that. The other thing is, why was Hawaiian shirt Friday?
Why throw that in there?
Like I didn't understand that being a part of it. Yeah. It was just like, this is a weird add-on here. Like I would have thought you'd do the Burley statue the day that they're unveiling it. I guess because you'd see what it looks like before they unveil it. They didn't want that to get out. I guess. But yeah, I think that they did provide enough of a diversity of just different activities and I think I'll say that yesterday was a really nice tribute at the before the game.
Absolutely,
I really enjoyed it.
I did as well. Yeah, I agree, Treasy. I think they did a good job of people who wanted autographs and wanted pictures and all this stuff, and then people just wanted to see. Hey, I want to see all my favorite players out there in the field. I want to see Burley get honored again. Like we saw Burley get honored when his number was retired, but it's nice to have him back again and get the statue. It's beautiful. And so many White Sox fans reminiscing about just watching his career or even just a regular ass fucking Burley start you go to and you're like, yeah, Mark's pitching tonight. I can't wait to be part of this. And like we don't have that right now. And so everyone's missing it. So I think you could have. I agree with you. They could have done more stuff with the common fan. They could have done some crazier shit. We noticed yesterday that the uppers were not completely full. What I would do if you were doing this again, I'd say, look, there's going to be a handful of players that are going to just come up from the 05 team up to the upper deck and come high five and mash all you motherfuckers. And the sections will be picked at random for this thing, for this to happen. You fill that shit up in no time, right? Those guys, I'll buy a $12 ticket or whatever it is up there, and just a chance to fucking mash hands with Brian Anderson or whoever the fuck they pick to go up there and hit those certain sections. Like there could have been I was gonna say there could have been a little more of that type of stuff, or like what I really loved, Trees, and we'll get to it in a second with their favorite weekends. I loved how much these guys seemingly still really like each other. Like the friendships and kinships are just so cute, in my opinion, like in a way,
It's like you see these guys like let's just jump into what was your favorite part of the reunion.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So like yesterday, we were us and a bunch of other season ticket holders. We're up in a suite where they do the CHSN show.
Yep.
We're walking in though. And we just happened to walk in at the same time that the Sox had all these players lined up in the hallway because they're just there because they're going to go down to the field, right? Yep. So they're hanging out in suites up there, and then they're going to take them down to the field. And so we just happened to walk through the entire 05 team. Basically.
We were there at the perfect time to walk through.
It was incredible, and it's like, and you're just walking through, and you're like, holy shit! It's like so much to take in. Like all these guys that you've watched from afar for so long.
Like, hey, there's Scott Pacetnik. Hey, there's AJ Brzezinski. Hey, there's Jermaine Dye, the MVP of the World Series. Like, it's right there. Like, what the fuck is it? Sweaty Freddy's there. Like, and we're like, excuse us, gentlemen. We're trying to get through to this all-you-can-drink thing.
Exactly. We needed to get to the Miller Lights. Really bad. But it was funny because we saw them then, and then they came back up later, and they had been out on the field. Yeah. And the difference in Freddie Garcia in the air conditioning to him just being out in the sun for like 20 minutes, you could see his glistening.
A little glaze on him, absolutely.
That's the Freddie I know.
He's ready to start today. What's all about there?
Oh man, Jose Contreras could still pitch. I mean, like you can't tell me that guy couldn't go on the field right now.
Yeah, let me tell you
He's
something.
Like 75 years old.
I don't know who I'm more proud of. The guys that really kept their form, like let's say Jose Contreras is number one on the list. Scotty Pod, some of these guys that still look like they're in shape, or the guys that very clearly said, "I am in retirement. I'm going to fucking be retired." Joe Creedy, Juan Uribe, got the belly and everything. Them guys are fucking enjoying it. I don't know which one I'm happier for. Like, are you really enjoying this shit, or you're keeping it shape? But it was great either way. I think my favorite part of the reunion weekend, Treasy, and I think you probably agree with me here, is after they give the speeches and everything.
Yes.
Mark Burley goes up there and pulls out all the beer from underneath the stand, and they hand it out to all the fellas, and they do a big cheers for Bobby.
And they set it up really well because you didn't know what was happening.
We didn't know.
So you can't see. Like, and obviously, like even in the stadium, you couldn't really see what was down there. And Ozzy is speaking, and Ozzy's coming to an end, and Burley runs up and stops him, and he kind of messes with him and they're joking around. And like,
so you think that's the bet?
Yeah, he's like, I think you need a translator. And then you see AJ come, and they're like digging under, and like Burley starts digging under too, while he's still talking to Ozzy. And we're like, what the hell are they doing? And then they just pull out these cases of Miller Lite, and then they're like, we're going to do a cheers for Bobby Jenks.
It was beautiful.
And like every dude in that crowd that had sunglasses on was like, thank fucking God I wore sunglasses.
Exactly. Yeah. But it was a good like stadium-wide cheers too, because they were like, hey, everyone raise it up. Yeah, that warmed my fucking heart that they decided to do, and they did that the right way. Because you can just say, because it was said all throughout the weekend, with his family and everything. His family was there too for the thing, his kids and his wife. And a lot of things were said about him, but the cheers to me was more special. It was just like that was the boys. This is the boys doing the cheers, and I absolutely loved it.
I thought that was really great. And I'll say one more thing that was another like highlight of the weekend was the unveiling of Burley's statue.
Absolutely.
I was talking to our friend Gareth in Sox marketing yesterday, and he was like, "What what'd you think of the statue?" And I was like, I was so nervous. I was so nervous going into this because you've seen the Cristiano Ronaldo statue, you've seen the Dwayne Wade statue, and these are not far in the past where like statue making is like come so far that no way would they fuck it up. And so when you see it, and it looks like Mark. It's like it's really Scott. all of it looked really good.
Extremely well done.
I was like, there was like a relief and just a joy. So like that was another favorite part. And the fact that his family's there to take that off, and then his son sings the national anthem.
His daughter throws out the first pitch. It was cool. That was very cool.
What a great moment. What Absolutely. A great moment. So I congratulate the Sox on really, really kind of knocking that one out of the park.
I was going to say the loudest cheer anyone who was announced with the 2005 team was Hawk.
By a
mile.
They couldn't even finish. So two guys where they couldn't finish talking about him, and the crowd was like, it was going crazy. Was Hawk and Ozzy.
That's right.
And the Hawk giving us the. Awesome. I was like, oh yeah. Like I can't. I'll never not love Hawk.
I was gonna say, Hawk was great. Obviously, he's an old man, but he's out there in his element, man. He's DJ and them are hanging around him or whatever, and yeah, he's going nuts. Just loving being there with the boys again. I just love to see that for Hawk.
I love it.
He's the best. He's a legend.
As much as they want Hawk in the park, man, bring him in, man. As much as he fucking wants to be there.
As much as he wants to come, exactly. Let him come through. Absolutely right. All right, last question, and this one is for us a little more, Treasy. Over under 9.5 place. The au jus is going to get in. What is your favorite non-Bears Chicago sports podcast in the dollars and cents Chicago sports media survey? Where are we going to finish? There's 11 listed podcasts in there plus the write-ins, so that would make 12.
So I'm gonna go out on a limb here.
Okay.
And say you finish middle of the pack. I'm gonna go under 9.5.
Okay.
I'll say like 6 or 7.
6 or
and
7.
The reason I say that is not just pure, pride in what my brother does, but that there's a lot of podcasts in there that will eat at each other, where the 108 has a niche audience, and they're all going to vote.
Exactly.
And I'm not going to say that people have learned ways to get around voting limits in these types of things through the 108 tourney, but it's out there. So it could happen.
John Greenberg had said there was already like 4,000 votes as of yesterday. So let's assume we cruise into the level of about 6,000 votes by Monday when the results are final. I expect the 108 audience to have voted between 300 and 500 times, right? So that would put us at 5 to 10%, somewhere in there. So I can see where you're at. I would say maybe 7th or 8th, somewhere in there, but I don't think we'll finish at the very bottom. I'm fingers crossed. That's all I want. We got a little recognition from John, and we're very appreciative of that. I just don't want to finish last. I just don't want to be the 11th one. Please don't leave us. We're the independents out there. We got to finish ahead of some of these known brands, some of these name TV.
Can't finish 12th.
You can. No, if writing passes us, we might as well quit the job. We might as well quit doing this forever and ever. So let's close it up. Treasy, what are you spinning?
There's only one thing I can be spinning this weekend. After the beautiful send-off that Black Sabbath got, I got to be listening to Black Sabbath.
Love it.
And I think, a lot of purists out there like Sabbath self-titled. That's where it's at. Or, they just have their favorites. This is maybe the most popular, but also my favorite because of a few reasons. And so Black Sabbath Paranoid is what I'm spinning.
Nice.
War Pigs is maybe one of the best opening songs of all time on an album.
Great.
the little fucking
track one, side one.
The little fucking hi-hat thing in there with then the guitar riff that comes in. People have been stealing that for the last 50 years.
Exactly. Exactly right.
And then you have Paranoid, and then Black Sabbath had the understanding that if you give 2 banger tracks like that in a row, if you do a third at that tempo, at that level, people will get murdered. So they put Planet Caravan in there to calm you down.
It's a great song.
They're like, we got to calm you down.
You don't even think of Black Sabbath having slow songs, but that's a great song, Planet Caravan.
But yeah, and if Fairies Wear Boots is on there, and that's one of my all-time favorite bass lines. So just an awesome fucking album. And I just love that Ozzy and Sabbath did it right by going here's our farewell tour. We're doing it in our hometown. It's for charity. It was outstanding. What a great way to go out. And I'm very, very happy for Black Sabbath. And I fucking love that album. And if you've never heard it, Jesus Christ, make that the first thing on your priority list today, because it has influenced albums for the past 50 years.
That is a great call, Treasy. It has been one of the, Black Sabbath as a band has been one of the most influential bands of all time. No one was playing power chords. Right. Until that. That's something you overlook. It's Tony Iommi starts with the power chords, and then everyone does it kind of afterwards. And so it's like,
it's the first thing you learn now.
It's the first thing you learn when you're learning guitar. It's like, here's the power chords. Here's how you play XYZ song. Because now all the rock songs have power chords. It's crazy that is the case. But totally agree with you. And a great fucking album. We should listen to that right after we finish this up. My parting thought is, Tony Soprano said, remember when is the lowest form of conversation. But I'm going to go ahead and disagree because this reunion weekend for the White Sox has been great. And it's not just been great because we've been able to celebrate a team that we all love from 20 years ago. It's been great because I've seen a lot of Sox fans that I haven't seen in a long time come to the ballpark. We've been giving hugs, high fives, seeing people, getting a chance to talk to people we haven't talked to in a long time. And it really brought back the thing that we love most about being Sox fans is the community. There's such a great community. And it's not just Twitter community. It's not just people who are in the 108 comments community. It's all of you motherfuckers that we see out there all the time. And like this weekend has really brought it back. We've seen some people we haven't seen in fucking ages. And we've tried to make note of many of them as possible. And that's what's made it great. I hope the White Sox, maybe every 5 years, bring this group back until they figure out a way to get back to the World Series and give us a new team to celebrate.
Got to sit with Biggins yesterday. He's one of the OG members of from the
108. Yeah.
So I appreciate the opportunity to do that. And you're right. It was just a great weekend of that. Hopefully today is one more day of that. Go on, have a little couple 2-3 beers and see what happens.
Close it out strong. Great seeing Sam Mendelson. Great seeing Steve O. I mean, there's so many. Zombie Jackie, everyone. Good to see all of you. All right, we'll see you guys. Go to Cork and Kerry, Cork at the Park, and we'll see you at the ballpark. And we love all of you. Bye-bye.